Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Art of Communicating, and now it's called as Anuradha Shray, Career Communication Coach. And you are in the program of Master Your Communication Skills in just 10 days. Yesterday in the class one, we were discussing about vocabulary. It's all about the words. And I picked up the words which we use every day in our kitchen. I hope it was quite useful. The usage of vocabulary is very important when you want to make a sentence. We never use the right words, or you can say we don't use the correct words. Yesterday, even in the kitchen products, most of us didn't know certain things. So when we get vocabulary, we never have a difficulty to form sentences. Most of them have this issue. Like when they want to say something, they don't get the words at the right moment. So vocabulary can be remembered very well if you start using it often. In this class too, we are going to learn about small phrases. My target in this session is all about for the beginners to speak English just in 10 days. Most of them have a wish to speak, but certain things are stopping them to speak because they say, I don't have a confidence. We cannot get confidence until we are prepared. And even when you want to prepare, we don't know what to prepare and how to prepare it. So, in this 10 days of class, my target is to make use of this video and see that we start speaking. You cannot just speak by hearing my video. You have to put into practice. Anything has to be practiced, and especially if you are learning some new skills, you need to do lots and lots of practice. It could be even by writing also. So today in this class too, we are going to discuss about some small phrases. I'm sure it'll be quite useful. Please do take actions. And before I proceed further, I request you to kindly subscribe my YouTube channel so that you get my videos once I post it. As you know that your videos will be every day at 8:30 in the evening. I hope you are watching it. If you have any comments, please do post it below my video so that I can know exactly where you are stuck with and I can make more simpler so that you can start speaking English without any hassles or without any barriers. I'm trying to make the videos as simple as possible so that each one of you can understand. Never think that no, this is English, I can't understand. I'm trying my best to make it as simple because here I cannot use all the regional languages, though I know four languages. I cannot satisfy everyone. If you have any doubts, you can straight away ping me the link. I've shared my link below the video so that you can join my WhatsApp group, and there we can discuss further. As you all know that there is also called as interactive live session, because after this 10 days of session, if you think that you want to proceed further and if you think that I can learn with this trainer and if you're quite comfortable with me, please click the link given below the video so that we can join in WhatsApp and discuss further. Interactive session, it's a live interactive session, Zoom, and it's a paid session. I hope for a few people this 10-day session should be really helpful. I'm trying my best in what way I can do it so that you can develop a skill of speaking. Unless you force yourself, you cannot do anything. So do take action rather than listening. Take your notes, keep a pen ready with you so that you can write down, and if you come across any doubts, you can also make a note of it and ping me below the video so that I can address your doubts over there, or I can take it to the next video. I can discuss over there. Now, why I said interactive session is that in this video, it's only I am going to talk about my classes. So I don't know how you people speak. So if I want to know about your communication too, and if you want to scale up your communication, I'm sure we need to have an interactive session. Most of them have a problem of talking. Like though they know English, they say many reasons like they do not get an environment to speak. So in our live session, you are going to have 1 hour every day, Monday to Friday session. It's going to be a 30-hour session. It's going to be a paid session. So whoever interested, I have shared my WhatsApp link. You can just click it and join the group, and there we can discuss further. So now let's go for the class two, and it's all about phrases. So let me share the with my PowerPoint. Okay. So I hope you all remember what do you mean by phrases. Let me not stretch too much on that. Okay. As I told you, so when you want to learn English, do not focus more on grammar. See that you are trying to speak. So try to collect words, start speaking. Grammar should be a second thought to you, a thought for you, especially for the beginners. Yes, of course, if you want to go in for an advanced level, or if you want to have an effective communication, you do need a strong grammar. But right now, whoever has a problem in starting a conversation, in this video, I'm going to give you a few phrases, and also I'm going to give a short conversation which you can practice. Else, you can also do a same conversation similar to that and start practicing. Practicing is a must and mandatory. Without taking any action, you cannot speak English. Having a desire without practice, I'm sure it's not going to take you anywhere. So let me check for the phrases here. Let me share the picture. So when you see this picture, what do you think about it? What could be the chapter today? There's a phone over here. So when you call, what do you get over there? The first thing is you have somebody greets you, right? So today we are going to discuss about greetings. Like, let me discuss first about formal greetings. Formal greetings, nothing but where we use in a workplace or when you start talking to the stranger. We just have a very formal greeting. And please mind your tone. Tone is very, very important so that your English becomes more expressive. I can't expect tonality in the for the beginners because you are just practicing. It may take some time, but once you start practicing how to do the sentences, you can just mix up your emotions and get your conversation very lively. So let me see how you start greeting. So if you take it on regional languages, we have different ways of greeting when you meet our people. So we say that namaskar. It's all over everybody. We say that namaskar wherever you go. Even people who are abroad, like internationals, they also use the word called namaskar. Even they greet, they learn our languages. It's greeting. And sometimes we say namaste. Namaste also is there. It's very easy to understand. And vanakkam, right? But how about in English? I'm sure there's one word. How do you say it in English? Yes, anyone? Yeah, you can ping me. Yeah, you can just type it below the video there. Yeah, you can just say hello, right? But have a proper tone. Hello, no. Especially if you see some phone when they answer the call, for an example, the tone scares you and you don't feel like continuing the conversation. This also happens, right? So formal greeting should need to have a very formal voice, neither mild or a very loud voice. You need to have a very moderate voice where people can continue your conversation. Especially when people call me, I check on over their voice how they talk. So we have to maintain a normal tone where people get comfortable talking to you. Don't have a very rude tone over here. So the first greeting in a very formal way, we use a word called hello. I'm going to also discuss with you even the informal greetings. Nothing to worry about it. So let's go with the formal greetings and how the conversation goes on. And so when you, for example, when you meet a people or when you say them, oh, it's nice to meet you, pleasure to meet you. Either you can say nice to meet you or pleasure to meet you. It's apostrophe s. I've just given this contract form of it and is. You can say that it's nice to meet you or it's pleasure to meet you. It's not compulsory that you need to say it is, right? You can just go with Naha, nice to meet you, pleasure to meet you. And also you can add up the word called glad to meet you. Whichever is comfortable, please go ahead. Do not stop yourself. Okay. Try it. Don't try to be very perfect. Okay. Just do this. It'll be easy. And any other clues if you have, please let me know. You can also nice to meet you, and the extra word what we have it is again. So why should we use a word called again? You can use a sentence if you meet a person on the same day. Like you met him in the morning and accidentally you met him somewhere in the evening also, or maybe a couple of hours you met him there again. Then you can say, wow, it's nice to meet you again. Again, the tonality matters a lot. The first time when you met a person, okay, fine, nice to meet you, when you want to wave off, okay, bye. Then when you are meeting again on the same day or maybe a couple of hours, you can use an addition word called again. So please take care of your pronunciation, matters a lot. Please open your mouth wider and speak. That sounds better because in the beginning of speaking English, people always feel shy to use the words. No, never ever feel shy. Don't think about people's comment, how they are going to do it. Because even I have come across all this. Certain things have changed me. Even it doesn't matter. I never stopped this. I started to learn through your mistakes, right? So let's go for the next one here. After meeting a person, your next question will be, how are you? Or how do you do? Right? Ask this question confidently. Don't whisper or don't keep it inside your mouth, the words. Ask them, hey, how are you? Or how are you doing? How do you do? Any of this. Now, when you ask, how are you? The answer can be in different ways. How would you answer if this question is put to you? How are you? Yeah. Yes, you're right. You can say as I'm fine, or you can say I'm good, or you can say I'm doing great. Please do not answer with one word saying as fine, good, doing great. Make it complete like I am fine, I am good, I'm doing great. uh, Really, it sounds better than using fine, good, doing great. Some people try to end the conversation at the earliest. You see, if you want to have a healthy conversation or if you want to use that opportunity, start using like this. I'm fine. Talk like this. I'm fine. I'm good. I'm doing great. And now the question is, what is the meaning of fit as a fiddle, isn't it? Some say I am fit as a fiddle. So when you say I'm fit as a fiddle, I'm sure you would have got a clue what they call fit. All right. So it means I'm strong and healthy. You can also say I'm fit and healthy. So where do we use this as a question for you? When can I use this phrase? Imagine like you were in the hospital or you were sick and that person had come to your place and he visited you and he saw you that time you were not well. Probably after a month you meet him again or you meet him again, and they may ask you, hey, how are you doing? How are you? How are you now? Right? Rather saying I'm fine, I'm good, I'm doing great, with the enthusiastically you can say as, hey, I'm fit as fiddle. It means I'm healthy and strong. That way you can start using it. This sounds more better, right? You can express your feelings the way it is, but you should know how to use this particular word, how to pronounce this word. Only then you can talk confidently. That's the reason I'm giving you this kind of phrases. And sometimes you can all say so what do you mean by so? If you ask somebody, say, how are you? I'm okay. Say it okay. You see the voice is very low. It means like they have some problem or they are not keeping well or they have some issues which made them very low. So they say that I'm rather saying I'm not okay. They say okay, I'm just so. You can just go with this case. Now, when somebody is asking you, this is what you answer. I'm fine. I'm good. So how do you ask them back? So first, thank them, right? Thank you. And you? There are many, when people ask you, how are you? They just say, I'm fine. I'm good. That's it. No, it's for a quick conversation. You can make it like this. When they say, how are you? I'm fine. Thank you. And you? Like this sounds very formal way. It looks really nice when you want to take your conversation to the next level. And please carry a smile and mind your tone, the way you speak. So after finishing his formal greetings, let us see now how informal greetings is. The informal greetings are especially with friends, relatives, and family members, and so on and so on. Now, when you chat, I'm sure you say, hey, hi there, or you say, hey. It's all totally informal, especially in your workplace. I don't think you'll be talking to your boss, hey, hi there, hey, no. Like with your colleagues who's very close to, with the team manager, we are very closely after not taking as a manager's position and getting into a very informal talk. There you can say, hey, how are you doing? Whatever. And there are many ways to ask her, how are you? Right? And before that, if you want to wish them, you need also take care of your greetings. Even the formal greetings also, you can, if you're seeing them in the morning, you can say good morning. If you're seeing them in the evening, you can say, I mean, good evening. The question now is good afternoon also, it goes with that. Now the question somebody asked me, like, if you are meeting a person for the first time in the evening around 9 o'clock, so how do you wish? Right? You need to go with good evening, not good night. People ask me this question, like in case we meet a person in the night around 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. This happens when they go receive their office, or when they go receive them from the airport, their boss, or when they get stuck how to greet them. Very simple, you can just go ahead and say them good evening. Okay, you cannot say good night. Good night is said only when you live, when you finish the day, only that time you can say good night. But if you're meeting a person first time in the evening, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, no matter what time is it, you have to start with the conscious as good evening. Don't say good night in the beginning. And whereas in the informal greetings, you can take out the word called good, just say morning, afternoon, evening, whatever it is, you can just go with that. And later you want to check out how are they doing. So these are ways we can do it. What's up, right? Or how are things with you? This way is a very, very informal greeting. So there we ask, how are you? How do you do? But as an informal greetings, we go with it. How are things with you? And what's up? There are also other ways. What's new? Like here, you can see that I've used apostrophe yes, right? It means WHAD, what and is, I've done in a contract form. You can know what is new, what is happening. Now the trend is so fast and you need to get along with the trend. You can't say what is happening, what is new. I'm not saying it's wrong, but in fact, people love to speak like this. Make it in a contract form. What's new? What's happening? That sounds better. Like you can get into practice. It's very easy to use it. But I have seen people using one like this. What's is new. You cannot use this is totally wrong sentence. You cannot use is here because what's is a combination of what and is. Right? If you want to use is, take out this apostrophe s. Rather, you can say what is new. But if you are using is apostrophe s, take out this is. You can practice this, how to speed up your way of talking. See, only if your conversation is interesting, people love to proceed with you. Keep in mind. So try to go with the trend, go with the flow. It makes you more easier. The more and more you start listening to people, you will come out how they all are speaking, and I'm sure you are going to mirror the same way they speak. That's a quick way to learn. The next, again, here we can say it's nice to meet you in the formal meeting. With informal, you can say good to see you, right? And you can end your day by saying either bye or see you, or you can also say good day, right? I hope we all are using this. These are informal, and that is formal way. And now, to get someone's name, I feel someone, when they want to know someone's name, they have a different way of asking. Even the tone, I don't like it, the way they use it. What is your name? Right? So different professions have a different way of asking if you get if you hear the conversation. So when you are meeting a people, try to be very soft, and if you want to get their names, especially stop asking their mobile number in the very first stages. See how they are getting into it. I see some people have a very crazy way of asking mobile number. So it gives a wrong impression to the listener when you ask the mobile number, until unless there is some business meet or there is some future conversations. But nowadays in the colleges, if some start talking, immediately they want to share their mobile number. In fact, they ask for the mobile number, especially the opposite sex. So that you can avoid. You need to know when to ask the mobile number. So now let's go back how to take someone's name. Rather asking WH question, what's your name? Right? You can be more gentle and polite by using a model verbs called can or may. If it's totally with the strangers, you can go with may I know your name or can I know your name, in that way. Suppose we are traveling and you want to ask someone's name over there. It would be very nice if you share your name first, because when you share your name, obviously they will also give their names, and that is how you can get the names. Rather asking what's your name, you can use this way, may I know your name or can I know your name, or you can share your name first and you will get their names too, right? And the next one here, what's your name, what is your name, you can use it. I'm not saying it's wrong, but the process of your speaking skills gets little slower than this sentence called what's your name. You can choose. I'm not saying it's totally wrong, but do not stop it. Start whatever it's coming up to you, go ahead and talk. because the more and more you start speaking, you get confident. Confidence doesn't come again. I'm telling you, it doesn't come just like that. You need to know the words, what to practice, and then start doing it. But after getting to know, don't stop yourself. Go ahead. So you got to know about the greetings, and now you got to know about their names. What next would you like to start? You want to know more something about them. So let's go about what they do. Am I right? Greeting and introducing. It's done here. Let's talk about introducing. Like you can ask in different ways. Like if you want to ask about their profession or if you want to know about what they are doing, these are different formats. We can ask them like, "What do you do?" Or you can ask like, "What are you doing?" Or even, "What's your profession?" Or "What's your occupation?" Both the ways are all these four formats. I think it sounds good. It's very easy to use. Nowadays nobody asks like what's your occupation. Well, rather people ask what's your profession or what's your occupation. Is very rare, but still you can use it. Rather, the fast moving is what do you do or what are you doing. Okay, these are the straight WH questions. Sometimes people also gonna guess, like, are you a student? Or are you a businessman? Or are you an IT professional? Right? By saying that, now someone asked me to, hey, are you a trainer? They don't ask me like, what do you do? Like they can assume things and they can ask you like that. Are you, your answer can be anything. When they say like, are you a businessman, your answer can be yes, I'm a businessman, or no, I'm not a businessman. So please note that I have used article called a and here, because before an individual's profession you need to use the article a or an. As you know, I used here a as well as over here a, because student, it's a consonant word with a consonant sound. Businessman is a consonant with a consonant sound. Whereas when I say IT professional, I is a vowel letter, it has a vowel sound, therefore I used an. Make a point when people ask you about the professions, please use article. Like for example, I've come across when I ask what's your father, they say my father farmer, my brother engineer. It's a, they are giving some identity, right? So and like if it's a farmer, my father is a farmer, my brother is an engineer, she is an advocate. Before the individual's profession, please use the article a, an, and the. So these are very common errors what people have been doing it. Before, like just say he is student. No, there's a difference in it. You need to know how your unique one. And you might be ask me, ma'am, why not about when you're using your name? You're not supposed to add before the name because I'm already unique. And when I say I am an Anuradha, because my state name starts with A, I cannot use an Anuradha. I cannot use any article before my name. I have my own identity. I'm a unique one. I also have another profession, like I'm a trainer, I am a coach, right? It's my designation. But when it comes to my name, I'm not supposed to use any kind of article. Same, I repeat with you also. When you are giving your names, just give your name like I am Sita, or I'm Aarti, whatever it is. Never use any article when you are giving your names. But when you're sharing your designations, you can say that I'm an accountant, or you can say I'm an advocate, whatever it is. You can use it before. But for names, please do not use it. Now, when this question is put to you, what do you do or what are you doing? So, what could be your answer now? The answer is I'm a student. Student is a profession, like put it A over there. Or you can also say that I am associated with an international company, right? I'm associated doesn't mean he has not shared the designation, but he has said that I am associated with an international company, right? And you can also say I'm working, sorry, there's a mistake over here. I am working for XYZ company. It should be working. I am working for XYZ company. I missed the word called working. Now, sometimes people also say this, I'm working at XYZ company. So, what is the difference of I am working for XYZ company and I am working at XYZ company? So when you say I am working for XY, just an employee over there, that's it. But when you say I'm working at XYZ company, it means that you are an dedicated employee over there. You have a kind of a bond with that company. So it's nice to say like I am working at XYZ company because you're trying rather being just an employee, you get a kind of attachment, a dedication that you are dedicated to a particular company, whatever it is. This sounds good. And another one, people say I am working at XYZ company or I'm working with XYZ company for 3 years. I am working with XYZ company for 3 years. Do you think it's right? When you mention the years, right, it means that you already started to work since long time. You cannot, when you say I am working, it means now, right? I'm working for I have not, you in this two sentence you have not mentioned any time element. But when you say I'm working for XY with XYZ company for 3 years, you are given a time element for 3 years, and you cannot use it at this moment. When you, because I am working is now, you need to start up with I have been working with XYZ company for 5 years or since 2016, because this sentence means you start to work since 2016 and you're still working with them. So you cannot use I am working. In this two sentence, there is no time element, but as well as in this third sentence, there is a time element for 5 years and 2016. And I need to use I have been working. I hope it's clear. So this is how you can answer when somebody asks you like what do you do, what are you doing. Take time to talk. Do not give one word answer again and repeat again and again. Never just end up with one word, and use all the opportunities if you want to improve your communication skills in English. When someone speaks English to, do not back out, right? Step there, see how they are talking, and you try to push yourself to answer them. I have many say that I'm able to understand but not able to speak. This is the reason. So keep this in mind. Now check it out, like how you want to modify this answer, read over it and practice it. Otherwise, you can put the same question, write in a book and keep on practicing again and again and again. And please do recording and see how it sounds, how you talk. So after this, let us see the next one. Sometimes nowadays it's being in online. Since the last year we had lots of online things going on, and the profession can be like this too. Now I am a video maker or video editor, so the contract form of I and am is am, right? I said now I am working. It's quite lengthy process. Now I made a very short I'm not saying I am. No, I'm a video maker or I'm a video editor. Now, since last year, there are lots of work on the online, and now people have kind of made themselves as professionals in a video maker, video editor. And we can also say like this: I make videos for YouTube. So whereas not I, because I'm just a coach, I cannot make videos for YouTube. I just make it my classes to be on the YouTube. That's it. So there are some professionals who makes videos for YouTube. There's a lots of difference in that, right? And here, I'm preparing for TOEFL, where we were doing some exams, right? I'm preparing the contract form. I and am is am. It depends on you how do you want to use it. It's not wrong in saying I am preparing. You can also say am. I'm preparing for TOEFL and IELTS exam. I believe you know this, what's TOEFL and IELTS exams are, right? So can we move the next one? This is all about when somebody asks you a profession. You can add up your professions, whatever it is, and you can also put in the comment box how you want to present yourself. So more than writing, you need to talk. Talking is more important. So first write down. So listen to my video, write down your updates in it. How do you want to present yourself, and start speaking confidently. Once you practice, you can the practice in the sense the tonality. How do you want to say it? And when someone says about their profession and you want to respond them back, you just can't be idle. When someone says that I'm a video maker, I make videos for YouTube. So what's your response? Some people just never open up, they just keep silent, right? It's very bad. Respond them back, reciprocate them by saying as, oh really? Nice to hear. That's really nice, right? Or you can also say as very interesting to know. So when you come to know something, they're doing something new, you can tell about this. Very interesting to know, or nice to hear this. Just reply them back when they say, "Hey, I'm a trainer." Oh, really? Then the next question follows. This is how the conversation keeps going. Most of them are scared to talk because they are so worried that what could be the next question. No, Don't think about the future, what's going to happen. Be in the present. Don't think about the past and don't think about the future. Both the things are scary. So be in the present and try to answer. I'm sure you can answer very confidently, and please work on your clarity. Clarity depends on your pronunciation. I'm just going to give you the next class how to improve your pronunciation. That matters a lot. So next is over. So we are going to have one small conversation how you can proceed with for day-to-day sessions. So here we are going to S1 and S2. S1 nothing but speaker one and S2 is speaker two. So now you are traveling somewhere or you are meeting some people in a garden or you're meeting some people in a mall and you're just waiting over there and you want to do some conversations with people around you. So how do you strike a conversation? Initiate your conversation. People find difficult to initiate. Even when you go to a gym, you people they don't talk. Sometimes you feel, how should I start? What are they going to? Don't think that what they're going to think. If you want to start, do it. Don't think too much. Like I see people going to park, they sit very idle. Why don't you practice something? Why don't you make some new friends? Like expand your network of friends. Nothing is going to harm, but so that your English can improve. So let me share one small conversation. Let us see how we they talk here. Speaker one, it says it's just want to start. It says it's too hot. So now I'm in Bangalore. The climate is too hot. Even today morning around 9 o'clock, it was really sweating so badly. So based on that, I made a small conversation here. So he says it's too hot. See, it is too hot. I'm not saying it's wrong. You can go ahead, but this sounds much better. It goes with the flow. Trend is this. It's too hot. So even when you're learning something, try to go with the trend. Don't be in the old ways how it was. You can just hear lots of videos here and see how people are talking. They are very trendy. And why do you want to be that? Let's go with this. It's too hot. And he says a question tag call, isn't it? Like, isn't it a negative question, right? It's too hot. It's Venus, and don't be like a dictating kind of a thing, or don't like a dominating kind of a conversation. See that the other person starts conversating to you, and now you want to know, like you started a conversation, and you're not sure whether he or she is interested to talk. So let us see how you can make out whether the person is going to speak to you or whether you want to stop the conversation. Let us check. Nowadays, most of them are engaged with their mobiles. They start busy with their laptop and mobiles. That's what's happening around. But still, you can make it lively. Here, if you say it is too hot, it's like dictating or it's just like a commanding, right? When you're putting a question, like it's asking, like, isn't it? Alva. In Kannada, say Alva. In Tamil, Ilya. And whereas in Hindi, it isn't, I'm not really sure. I forgot this one. It's too hot. So you can go in this way. Start with it, but don't stop with it's too hot. Go with the question tag called isn't it? Right? So for this, the speaker two, S2, nothing but speaker two, he says, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. He is just stopping a sentence. Right? When the first speaker one says it's too hot, isn't it? Is asking a question. He just gives one word answer like, yeah, I agree. Absolutely. So when you get this kind of reply, I'm sure you won't be comfortable and your mind totally blocks and you say that, okay, I don't think I can continue with this. You just stop up. Absolutely. It means that he doesn't want to continue. He's just ending up with it. But in case if the speaker two speaks in this form, hope it's get better on the weekend. It means like is continuing the conversation. Yeah, you can say, yeah, hope it gets better on the weekend. Or you can say, I agree, hope it gets better on the weekend. Or you can say, absolutely, hope it gets better on the weekend. It means that he just want to conversate with you. He's interested in the conversation. Now you can go ahead with the next question. So first impression, best impression, please do not brag too much about yourself or do not be too personal. And even that people gets irritated. There are some people like they just want to boast about themselves. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. No, please stop bragging or stop boasting about yourself in the very first conversations. See, make it very lively. Talk about what is happening in the particular moment. Or if you see some newspapers, I think recently, yesterday's one case in Ahmedabad about Aisha. You can talk, even if that comes in the issue, you can bring that conversation, so people will start talking. So rather focusing more about you or telling more about you, you can say it's like, yeah, I'm an IT professional, I'm a lawyer, whatever. but people will be interested for the current situation, what's happening. In that way, your conversation becomes more interesting. Now, let us see how speaker one continues. So when he says, speaker two says, hope it gets better on the weekend. So now we have another clue to ask. Oh, any plans on the weekend? Or do you have any plans on the weekend? The short way, any plans? You need to have a smiling way of talking, not like a questioning kind of a thing. Any plans on the weekend? Do you have any? No, I don't think they will be comfortable with that. Just appreciate, or you can say, really? Any plans on the weekend? Just you can have a small smile over there. Or do you have any plans on the weekend? So now the speaker two says, yes, my friend and I have planned to go for shopping. See how he opens up, because he finds comfortable the way he approached. That sounds good. See, first we said it's too hot, isn't it? Then he said, yeah, I hope it gets better the weekend. And the speaker one said, oh, any plans on the weekend? And here speaker two says, yes, my friend and I have planned to go out for shopping. This is how the conversation develops. And you can have good friends. I'm sure we have been traveling nowadays and everywhere, but now due to COVID, it's very limited. You can also have, if you have a chance to go out anywhere, if you are standing alone or if you're waiting for someone there, or if you think that you want to have some healthy connection somebody there, please go ahead and talk. And now speaker one says, really, do you go often? Right. Okay, next question. All the questions are connected questions. The questions are all connected to it. So this makes the conversation more lively, and that's how the other side of the listener starts speaking. And here, speaker two says, "We did go out before COVID, but nowadays, no." Right? Look at the way he conversated. We did go out before COVID, but nowadays, no. It's a very, very small conversation. You can practice the same conversation, write it in your book, practice it. Please work on your voice. Again, telling you, work on your voice. And I've used max to max as simple as possible. It's not that difficult for the beginners. It's a step to start speaking. I'm sure in this 10 days, you can start talking a bit. Do not feel shy, like, oh, if I speak suddenly English, what happens in few days? Just 1 hour back, one of my students, like, she's purely a housewife after a long time. She has come to learn for this English class. But when she asked for the fees with her husband, and husband told her that, oh my God, you're just wasting my money. And I'm sure you're not going to learn. So these kind of words will demotivate you. No matter if you have decided to speak, no problem. You have to put lots and lots of effort to practice. It should be a small challenge between you and your husband, or you and your family members, or you and your friend, whatever it is. Whoever says no, take it in a positive term, be sportive, and put your steps to continue. Even I do this because I am not into medias, but uh, now due to this COVID, I need to expose myself more into videos. Even I get too scared to come on the videos to do, but I made myself. I need to be in the medias and I need to get exposed to skills, many skills, and I have also joined many skills to improve myself. So if you want to be a master, or if you want to change yourself, you need to learn. But how will you learn? You can't learn all by yourself. I joined certain courses so that my mentor can monitor me, or he can validate me where am I going wrong. So this kind of, and be very supportive. People are there. Some people will encourage you. Some people will demotivate you. Never care them. If you're saying, oh ma'am, if I start speaking English in my house, they may start laughing. Don't care about what they do. How long are they going to laugh? Hardly they keep laughing. How long? And if you keep bothering, okay, he will laugh, she will laugh, and they will laugh, sure, one day you are going to cry, right? Today I told my student, no matter what your husband says, in this 3 days she has picked up a lot, and she is a topper in her native place in Urdu. She's a Muslim person, but she is a topper in that madrasa, whatever she does it beautifully. But now she want to learn English for her daughter. So she has made a mind to learn. I told you that when you want to put some effort, when you want to learn something, put effort. Just keeping a desire without any effort, you are not going to achieve. I made this video so simple that a student like her, or whoever was not able to come and join the classes when they don't have, you can just watch my video, and wherever you have doubts, you can just ask me or comment in the inbox wherever or in whatever language you want. I can answer you in the comment over there, or else I can take that particular question and I can answer it in my video. So do keep watching my videos, because it's I'm going to give you all the simple tips where you can speak English soon. I've just targeted for 10 days, especially whoever has a hesitation to speak, or who have a self-doubt, or who's too shy to um, talk. That's the only target. And people, whoever is already speaking English, I would appreciate you to practice more, and with live interactive sessions with us, which you can click my WhatsApp group, which I've shared in below my video, so that we can have more discussions. And as I told you, it's a paid channel, paid course. So for further details, please do not forget to subscribe my channel, because you will be getting the notifications once subscribe my channel. Do not miss it, and I'm awaiting for your comments also. I would say that when do not hurry anything. Yeah, be slow. Yeah, be slow so that you can get up faster, because when you start understanding the things what you want to know, or how you when you understand the simple sentences, I'm sure it's very easy to use. People try to by heart. You cannot by heart English. You need to understand the concept. In the case anything, even I used to by heart during my school days. Even max I used to by heart, but later I stopped doing by hearting. I realized how things happen. So every choice you make has end result. Keep a note of it. So when you're taking a choice of learning English, I'm sure you have to put effort, and it's going to give a beautiful result at the end of it, right? And that is how you do it. And make a habit. I told you, every day, make some habit and see that you practice it. Many people are attached to some bad habits very soon. For example, let's take smoking. Smoking, no one taught you that. Maybe your friend was smoking and you want to do it, and you felt that, okay, it was releasing my tension. But I'm sure you can stop even that smoking, right? We get attached very soon for the bad habits and the good habits, because good habits takes time to change, whereas bad habits gives immediate relief. In people want everything instant. It's highly impossible. If you want to be success, you need to wait patiently, work on it, practice it, and you will be getting a good result at the end of it. The time what you invest should be really good. So be slow so that you can get a beautiful result. You can get up faster. Don't rush up things. Okay, yesterday was in the class one, we discussed about vocabulary. It's all about the kitchen products. You remember, it's usually even for men, doesn't mean that, okay, I don't need it. Everyone needs plate to eat, everyone needs a ladle to pour it, the samba, everything is required. So don't start using your own language, rather add this English, even I'm telling about the parents, so that even your kids can understand. And today we're talking about the phrases, these small phrases, and with the conversation I've made it so that you can start speaking. I hope this video was useful. So please do not forget to subscribe my channel so that you get notifications when I post a video. And the session is going to be every day at 8:30 in the evening. I hope you are clear with this. Looking forward in the next video. Until then, it's your Anuradha Shri signing off. Thank you. God bless you.